Good afternoon, guys. We're here on Facebook Live with YouTuber Cycling Maven, aka Mark Ferguson, long-time supporter of MCL, mate. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome to our humble abode. We have changed up the studio a little bit. We went and got a couch that we actually found out is also a sofa bed.
Yeah, really?
It actually is.
When I'm in the doghouse.
You can come in here. We're giving you the key. That's all right.
After my performance with my garage.
I just actually watched that vlog. I think it was it the clay?
Yeah.
What are you doing with the clay?
I rang the dude up and I said, dude, I don't know anything about driveways. I said, can you, because we had this whole pile of dirt, right, originally, and every time I got out of my car in my shoes, I just dragged dirt through the house, and it was crapping Hannah. So I rang this guy up and I said, listen, dude, I don't know anything about driveways, just tell me what I need. Anyway, this truck comes around, this whole pile of clay comes out, and I look at it and went, that looks like a pile of shit. I can't swear.
Yeah,
it looks like a pile of shit. So I had to rake it. It's terrible.
It doesn't look great. And then your excuse was, Hannah definitely knew that it wasn't legit.
Well, I didn't know which way she was going to take it.
The guy said, let it rain a couple of days and it'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, I sort of figured that it would pack down. Do you know?
And the quote was, you just decreased the value of your house, I think it was. Yeah. Mate, guys, if you are watching live, we appreciate it. Comment below. And if you've got any questions on YouTubing and vlogging, we see more and more of it every day. I know you don't like comparisons and things, but people like Jesse Wellens and Casey Neistat sort of lately it sort of took it mainstream, if you like. So yeah. I suppose for all those out there, how come you started doing it? You've built like this enormous audience. It's almost 25,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is incredible and no offence, for a bloke who works full time, rides around on his bike like everyone else has done for 15 sort of years. How did you get into it, or why did you get into it?
Well, it's a bit bizarre. I mean, I always had this fascination with making movies, and we just make home movies like anyone does. But then I got a couple of GoPros, and I thought, you know what? I'll make something that no one's doing is making GoPro videos with a bit of education. Right? No one was doing it, so I actually got on lynda.com. Do you know lynda.com?
Lynda.com, I don't know.
So lynda.com's awesome because you can learn how to do video editing and all sorts of Adobe software. I highly recommend it. It's a great website. And I spent like a year trying to learn how to do Premiere Pro and stuff. And so I started editing these videos. And so that's how I started my channel, with these GoPro videos. But I soon realised that I had to actually be fit to be at the pointy end of the bike race. I mean, there's no point getting a GoPro video if you're out the arse. If you're out the arse every 5 minutes. So I realised that I have to change the channel. I have to evolve it. And then I watched a couple of Casey Neistat's videos and realised that vlogging is a pretty cool thing. Yeah. And it's a great way to have content on your blog every day. So I just thought, stuff I'll try it, and that was what happened. And here I am today.
Shane Miller said you guys discussed dress code prior to the event. We actually didn't. However, Mark did turn up 2 hours late for our meeting. But we do look really similar. We do. We have had this conversation that we both wear cuff chinos, which you didn't wear today. Fantastic, because I did. Yeah. Ewan said, "How do I become a YouTube hero like the great Maven without moving forward too much?" Do you want to discuss more about how you got into it, or what was the first bit of equipment you got? That where you're like, okay, I need to do it. GoPro isn't going to do it justice. Yeah. What do I need to sort of do?
Yeah. So I got the GoPros on the bike, and I think the biggest hurdle for me in Melbourne was getting approval from the organisers of the events to get the GoPros on the bike, because you know what that was like in the early days. And people can chuck GoPros on the bikes, they can fall off, anything could happen, right? I don't think we've ever seen really any big crashes from it. But the GoPros were the most significant thing for me, and I started putting that footage together, and it was quite difficult to do, because what I was trying to do was put the front GoPro and the back GoPro and just slice the footage together so it was all in time. Yeah. And then putting the audio over the top. But even though I enjoyed doing that footage, I really enjoyed doing the vlogs, because the vlogs you can get more creative with, you can sort of
do a bit more.
You can just do a bit more, whereas with the GoPro footage, it is what it is, and you chop it up and
So we'll go to the vlogging thing in a minute, but I suppose one of the things where I personally believe you sort of exploded before we get onto the tour and stuff is, I think Baker at stage 1 you hooked up Sammy Spokes from Drapac. You chucked a camera on his bike. Yep. And that produced some really, really good footage, which you still have on your YouTube channel, obviously. But then the real corker was Pat Shaw winning.
Yeah,
and he had the camera on his bike, Pat from Avanti Iceway.
Yeah.
That was a real seal when the height of expectation, the height of interest in cycling in Australia is in January.
Yeah.
And, you captured that. That couldn't have come off any better.
Yeah, it was wonderful. It was like awesome, and I've got a massive thank you to you guys for teeing up a lot of the contacts, because really at the end of the day, people say to me, you've done well with the channel. Well, it's not really me, because it's the help, to be honest with you, of you guys in the early days, and then we've got Rob Arnold from Ride Media who helped me get to the Tour de France. So Jared Partridge was a major contributor. So it's the help from all these other people that really helped the channel grow. But I think the Bay Crits was a big one. Pat Shaw winning that race, and then we having, he took the time to sit down and sort of narrate the footage with us, and I don't think he realised at the time how good it was going to be. And then we sat down and made this hour-long video, a complete educational video on how to race. And that video, I think it's got 80,000 views, something like that, so like something crazy, for an hour-long video.
Yeah.
So, and that's not me, that was mostly Pat. I mean, Pat is amazing.
Yeah, great guy.
He's a great guy, like he's been well known as being fiery in the bunch, right?
That's right, you got to have that.
But, there's nothing wrong with that, a bit of mongrel, but he is, in terms of a teacher and an educator of our great sport, there's no one better, I reckon.
Okay, so that's January this year, and then I remember that we sort of had a chat. You said I'm big, that I'm big on stuff every day.
Yeah.
Like, you got to create stuff every day, and it's very easy to push out imagery and do a strategy behind a story that forms. But creating something every day, which let's be overly generous or conservative and say you've got 7 hours to fill of your camera.
Yep.
Chopping it up, which for anyone, no matter if you're making movies or you're making a 5-minute vlog, chopping up stuff and deciding what's good and what isn't just takes time.
Yeah.
When did you go, all right, I'm going to do it every day? And at what point did you go, oh God, why have I done this every day? Because that must have entered your mind.
Yeah, I mean, look, many times, I suppose the biggest burden is the time that I spend blogging. Obviously I have a day job, as a lot of my viewers know, and so I've got to spend time doing that, and I have to spend time filming the blog, right? And then I have to spend the majority of the time editing the blog, and that time that I spend editing is taken away from spending time with Hannah, with my friends, or whatever. So you have to make a certain amount of sacrifices, but I love doing it, and it's an opportunity for me to get really creative with what I'm doing. And Hannah is the most awesome chick. Like, she's very understanding. Is this the question you're asking?
Yeah, you can just collaborate. It's Facebook
Yeah,
Live,
yeah.
just talk about it. They ask questions, I ask questions, we talk about random stuff. Yeah.
But so Hannah's very understanding, and again, this comes back to, it's not just me, it's like the team, it's the people you're around, and she's a massive part of the blog success.
And a regular feature.
And she's a regular feature. Like, she's getting more and more confident. And watching her evolve in the blog, like in the early days, she was so nervous every time I point the camera at her. But now she's sort of getting a personality.
She's telling you off.
Telling me off.
In the front.
Like, she absolutely tore me a new one yesterday. And it was good. It was good for her to do that in the vlog.
Yeah.
Knowing the camera.
Well, it knows it's on camera.
Yeah,
so
because
we deny it like guys do because we forget stuff.
Yeah.
She'll be like, well, check vlog number.
Yeah.
78. How many vlogs have you done?
About 223, 224. But I mean, I suppose we started off, it's very, like the vlogs in the early days were very structured, where I'd be talking to the camera and I'd sort of tell the camera what I wanted to tell it, and then I'd cut off and we'd have our normal life, and we'd have, normal couples arguments and da-da-da-da-da. And I think as the vlog evolves, I really just want it to be us, the true us. And I think yesterday's vlog, or today's vlog, this morning's vlog, was a real turning point in that it was actually really us having a couple, a domestic. And I think I'd like the vlogs to be more like that.
So it's going to be lifestyle Maven.
Well, yeah, I think that's the way they should be, personally. I think that's the way vlogs should be, more real,
All right, Scotty Rotino's in there. Scotty, well done on the weekend too, mate. There's some great pictures coming out of there, looking good as always, and Jules. Will we see the Maven race his cross bike next season?
Mate, I would love to get into cross. It's just, there's so many things to do, like, I want to do more mountain bike, but, I just don't, It's not that I don't have time. I mean, if you
well,
want to
we've
do
just
something,
discussed how time poor
yeah,
vlogging sort of makes you.
Yeah.
So you got to.
but I mean, that's an opportunity as well. I mean, you go to these races, you go to the mountain bike stuff, you go to the CX stuff. There's an opportunity to sort of get some content for the vlog. So I would love to do it. I just have to get my shit together, basically.
All right, so Shane Miller's heading off, mate. Thanks very much for tuning in. I suppose for those people that are watching and sort of say, right, I want to start vlogging.
Yeah.
What do they need? If you can give, because a lot of people, especially like in our industry as well, say I need to get like a Sony A7, you know what I mean, or I need to get a D70 and stuff. The fact is, you can do it on a $400 camera.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So if someone said, right, I want to start vlogging, not necessarily like we are cycling sort of based here, but not necessarily cycling vlogs if you like.
Yeah.
What are like the 3 pieces of equipment that you can't live without?
Good question. Like, obviously you could do it budget. You could do it on a GoPro and a camera, and that's fine. If you want to get started into vlogging, that's a great way to do it. But it's like anything, like when you get into cycling, you get a little bit more snobbery with the bikes that you choose and things like that. So when you start out with cycling, you start on an average bike and then you work your way up through the bikes. Same goes with vlogging, and your equipment. Like now, people look at that and think, oh, it's a little bit of overkill. But, I look at that and see that as a bare necessity. A good quality microphone. Like, sound is everything, really, when it comes to a vlog. And people can put up with bad footage, shaky camera and stuff like that, but sound is everything. So
the wind coming through.
Yeah, and that's why, I don't know whether you guys can see this, but I've got the fluffy thing on the top there. That stops the wind noise. Like an external mic is critical. What else is there? Like a
Battery charger.
Yeah, like a battery charger, obviously. But like your camera, your tripod. Like for the style of vlogs I do, a lot of people. I sort of derive my original inspiration from Casey, and I want to evolve that into really, and I think I have evolved it in my own style.
Make it your own style, yeah.
That's right, but like a thing like a tripod, for setting up for flybys. It's about telling the story. So, for example, coming here, like I might have put the camera down, walked past it, talked as I was going through the front door. You want to tell the story of what's actually happening. So you need all these little bits and pieces to.
So I think one of the biggest things with people is I don't want to look like an idiot, like with a camera there.
Yeah.
Best word of advice is, who cares? You're creating something. You know what I mean? Like it's not a big deal. Do you have any words of advice that you've ever sort of sat there and gone, oh, geez, like that person's looking at me funny.
Yeah.
And I was actually at a talk today, this talk called Real Big Things, and there was a guy there when I walked in.
Yeah.
And we were all around the coffee machine and stuff, and the guy was sitting there, a similar setup, not as big a camera, vlogging. And I immediately looked at him and I thought, like, good on him.
Legend, yeah.
You know what I mean?
But quite often I sit there and people look at me and your instant reaction is, oh, I think they must think I'm a weirdo. But I think quite a lot of the time people look at you and think, oh, I must be vlogging, or what's he doing?
Yeah.
But, when I first started vlogging and talking to the camera, I remember when I first posted my GoPro video where I narrated the footage, and I've been racing bikes for many years. So, I can share some of that knowledge with the beginners, but when I first pressed post on that video, I was sweating bricks because I was just thinking, oh my God, they're all going to rip me to pieces. People are going to expose me for the fraud I actually am. I'm going to get torn a new arsehole here from all the pros. And so I was absolutely terrified, right? But as it turned out, people just loved it.
Yeah.
And the comments were so positive, there was not one negative comment. And so it just went from there. And the thing is, when you first start blogging and you start talking to a camera, you feel like an absolute weirdo. But over time, you get more comfortable with it. And it's a great way to express your creativity.
Yeah.
Like you can make these things, you can say what you want to do. And the truth is, there's way more interesting people out there than me. So that's why I'd love to see more people get into vlogging. And I think people wonder why I promote vlogging as such. Well, I just want to see more people doing it, and so we've all got more interesting crap to watch on YouTube.
And if you don't want to do it, that's fine too.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Got some more people. Dave Fisher, if you're still in Bali, mate, thanks for joining in. Sammy Rodriguez, our resident. Sammy, he's from the USA.
Yeah.
And he loves tuning in.
How many people we got watching this thing?
We're heading a bit over. We've got 20 right now watching live.
Yeah.
we've got one. Sammy Rodriguez. When are you going to start putting more drone shots in the vlog again?
Well, I need to do that. Man, I'm slacking there. They've given me, so the guys at Model Flight in Adelaide, they've given me...
You can plug on here, that's fine.
But awesome dude. I mean, there's no expectations. You know how some brands, they give you something and they expect you to do something for it? Not these guys. They're like, yeah, have it and just, have fun with it.
Yeah, do your thing.
Just do your thing. So, yeah, look, Sammy, I want to do more of that. I've just been slack. I mean, there's only so many drone shots I can get standing out in front of my house, spinning it around, up and down Caulfield. So I just need to get out of my house and go down to the beach or whatever. So,
Michael Howson, what would you rate your beard out of 7? I presume you're talking to me because old mate's clean shaven. It's definitely a 6.95, and the only reason there is that I can't plait it like a bikie yet, which is what I'm working on, Sons of Vanity style. Rach Lucy's chimed in. Rach, good supporter down at Press Juices down at Chapel Street. Alright, so we've covered like what we're doing in terms of cameras and things.
Yeah.
We always say to like the people that when you come in here and I want to start editing and things like that.
Yeah.
I go just go and use iMovie.
Yeah,
it's free.
Yeah.
It's simple. You'll learn the basics. Because if anyone opens up Premiere, and I remember when I started using it, I went, oh my god.
Yeah.
This is like something out of like Star Wars, a ship that I've got to drive. I don't know where anything is.
Yeah.
So you start off at the bottom, right? And you learn what composition makes up, and different kind of filters and transitions and effects. Is there any other? When did you make the move to Premiere, or did you go straight away?
Well, I went straight away, and only because I knew that was where I was going to be. So I thought, well, I might as well learn it now. There's no point in learning iMovie. This is my personal thought process. There was no point in me learning iMovie when eventually I was going to end up at Premiere Pro. So, as I said, I got on lynda.com and just watched all the videos and got stuck into it. But yes, you can do great moves on iMovie. Like there's a guy I hang out with quite a lot, Abdullah, and he has the channel, the Glucose Network. But he did all his videos originally on iMovie, and they are such good quality. Like, Abdullah's young and he swears a lot in his videos and stuff. And if you're not into that, then you won't like the videos. But if you look at the edits and the way he shoots things and stuff, it's incredible. It's so cinematic.
Which is what we always say. The values in the story, not in what you're using to.
Yeah. So he's very talented. But my point is that you can use iMovie and create amazing videos.
Okay, let's get on to the fun stuff. You sort of hit your mark, as I said, in January this year.
Yeah.
Then a really good opportunity came up with Rob Arnold and the crew at Ride magazine, and that was to go to the Tour de France. Take us through like sort of when you were asked, how you were asked, and then where your sort of strategy behind that was, and how was it?
Yeah, I mean, so Rob and I'd never spoken to Rob, and then one day we had a chat on the phone just as an introductory call. He's got the biggest and arguably the best cycling magazine in the world. And I can tell you just on that, there's a lot of people in France, big name journalists that said to me that Rob has got the best magazine in the world, without a doubt. But anyway, that's beside the point. Rob rang me up and said, look, let's catch up for a coffee. I bought the camera, sat down, he didn't expect it, we did an interview. And following that interview, he said, look, I reckon it would be great to do some of your vlogs from the Tour de France. And, it worked for me because I got the magazine and stuff, so it would be a mutually beneficial arrangement. And I said, well, let's do it. But I said, let's do it, but to be honest with you, I was a little bit apprehensive because I thought, well, I've got to take 5 weeks off work to go over to the tour. I didn't have it. Yeah,
that's number one.
Which was
definitely number one. Yeah.
But so the work thing was a massive thing because in my industry that you don't just get 5 weeks off work. So that was I potentially thought I might have to quit my job. But I spoke to a few people and they said, mate, it's a once in a lifetime. You've got to do it.
Yeah.
You've got to do it. So I made it happen. Rob and I went over, and Rob's a fantastic guy. He's got a reputation as being very brash and stuff, but really at the core of it, he's a big mushroom. Big marshmallow. He's a really sweet guy. We actually clashed in the first couple of days. We were just like,
is this a breaking news story?
But no. I think a few people know. But we, eventually after a couple of days, we were sort of like calm down.
But you're trapped in a car, literally a
We
car.
were in
Which
a
I can
car.
imagine was a two-seater Citroen French style.
Yeah.
Like, you got to get it all out in the first couple of days, don't you?
That's exactly right. And so after the first couple of days we were fine, but those first couple of days were hairy.
Antonio, a big hello from Germany. Right now in Italy, miss Melbourne a lot. You don't miss it too much now, mate. It's about 4 degrees here every single day. But we're nice and warm in here.
So cold at the moment.
Headquarters. Sammy's back again. Will you be covering the Tour Down Under with Rob in 2017 like you covered the Tour de France this year?
I would like to. Like Rob and I were on the phone last night, but it's, you know what it is? I've got a day job, man.
Yeah.
It's like taking time off work for all these races. I just can't do it.
So all you big companies out there, start throwing marks and
absolutely.
cash to
If
get
you throw cash my way,
Yeah.
so I can quit my job and do this full time.
What's that called? An undignified plug or whatever?
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I would love to. What I'm going to do is Rob will be going over there and we'll be catching up, and I'll probably do like a weekend. I'll probably do the last weekend, the Saturday, Sunday, over there.
Okay, yeah.
So I'll miss the majority of it. But
That's Wollonga and
yeah,
the final.
yeah. So just a couple of vlogs, but I'd love to ride over, but yeah, it's not going to happen this year.
Because you rode over this year.
Because I rode, well, not because I rode over this year, but taking 5 weeks off of my work, I just can't. I've got no leave left.
You don't fly, you don't take as much leave, right? To take you like 2 days to ride. Just fly there and
That's right. I don't know what came over me.
I don't know what came
For those that don't know, I rode over last year in 3 or 4 days. 4 days.
I did see when he actually rolled into the village.
Yeah, you were the first person I saw.
Yeah, I thought you were dead.
Yeah, I was a 2 out of 10.
Yeah.
I was a 2 out of 10 before I left, but I was much, much worse.
Okay, let's talk about the tour because I think that's what a lot of people, want to see. One of the reasons that we wanted you on there is it shows like a different dimension.
Yeah.
Like that's reasonably curated
Yeah.
to, show what you want to show, which is cool. It's very honest.
Yeah.
But let's talk about like the behind the scenes. The tour is hectic.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that it's a very high stress scenario,
Yeah.
and a lot of the journalists and stuff, most of them sort of know how to behave when they're over there. So you're a freshman, you got the credentials right in there. Did you just adapt to going, the new kid at school, or did you go, what have I got to lose? I just want to walk around my camera.
I didn't think like that. I think it's because I'm middle-aged. Like I sort of rocked up there and I am who I am. So
Yep.
I didn't try to be anything. I didn't try to be anything else other than me, and so I was pretty comfortable. I was walking around like I owned the job. I'm going to be honest with you. The first couple of days I was pretty nervous because you've seen big name riders walking around and stuff, and it was not nerve-wracking, but it was like whoa, a bit surreal. But mate, honestly, after 3 or 4 days, I just felt like part of the tour.
Yeah.
And it was it was awesome. I mean, it was just, and Rob walking around with Rob, man, he was like it cracked me in the end because he knew so many people. We'd walk like 3 paces and he'd say hello to someone. So he introduced me to so many people, and the contacts I made over there were incredible. And it was just an awesome experience. The behind the scenes stuff is it's crazy seeing what goes on, and you really get to interact with all the big name journalists. So they've got their opinions on this, and you can't really share it with the public. But this is what they think. You get all that stuff going on, and it's like I would love to vlog every little bit of gossip that came my way. I couldn't.
The Maven Uncut.
Yeah, I'd love
Monday
to.
night.
Yeah, I'd love to have another channel. Just underground.
The secret one. Guys, keep your questions coming in. Let us know how the feed is going. If it's sort of cutting out, just let us know. We can sort of switch networks in here. Okay, I used an image to promote today, which was you on a motorbike.
Yeah.
I've got word that motorbike crashed with you on it.
Yeah.
True?
So keep this on the low down.
But, you know how many... To give you guys... This goes to over 30,000 people and gets watched almost 10,000 times.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you said it now, it's too late.
So I didn't put it in the vlog, right? But as we were... I maybe do regret telling you.
Would have been great footage just falling off the side of the bike.
So let's take a step back, right? Just to give everyone a background.
Kirsty Baxter's just tuned in. Guest from last week. Welcome, Quebec.
So basically what happened is Rob teed up for me to get on the back of the motorbike for one of the days, but as everyone knows, unless you've got proper video accreditation, you can't take video throughout the race. So I took my camera.
Wait, are you going to get in trouble?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I just thought, you know what, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity to be on a motorbike in the Tour de France. I'm taking fucking video, right? So, and I'm going to suffer the consequences of whatever. If they kick me off the tour, I'm still going to do it.
Yeah.
And so I took the camera, and Gaten was the motorbike rider, and so we were flying around.
Well, don't put him in it, just because you're in trouble, don't you?
Yeah, and by the way, he is a legend. He's
Yeah.
a really, really nice guy, but everyone knows who was in the blog, you know. But we're flying along on the motorbike, and as we were passing the peloton, you know, they were strung out. So they were single file strung out doing about 70 k's an hour, and it was crazy, man, because we were up the inside, and it's like, you know, I've done the Melbourne Warrnambool where the bikes are trying to get through, and you got the bunches coming across, and everyone's sort of compacted, and it's just crazy.
Yeah.
And so we're passing the peloton, we were flying, we're going down this little downhill section, and the motorbike rider went off. My motorbike rider went off into the gravel. So when we went off into the gravel, I don't know if, you know, for those people that know what it's like to ride a motorbike, it's very difficult at 60, 70 k's an hour to get the bike to get it back on the road, especially when there was a big divot thing. And so we're, you know, flying along 70, I don't know how fast we were going, and we couldn't get back on the road. And all of a sudden, these spectators started jumping in the bush as Gaten's coming towards them, and we've just hit this embankment and like proper crash. And this is while I was filming, so I filmed the whole thing.
Exists.
So the footage does exist, but only on my computer. But I kept it all underground.
Which is going to be in this office in the next week.
Yeah. But I kept it all underground at the time. I really messed up my knee. I sort of bent my knee back, and this ligament copped the hammering. But yeah, we hit the dirt, we got back up, and it was quite a big thing at the time. And he was really worried. He thought he was going to lose his job. So he said to me, please don't put it in the blog. And so I didn't.
But no, you just don't know about it.
But, you know, I've told everyone, but, you know, it's after the fact.
Guys, do we have any prizes to give away for anyone? Because
a few empty beer bottles.
Michael Hayes has said, looks like Dave McKenzie in the bike photo. If anybody that we don't know, we can give this and maybe like a MCL vest. I think there's one hanging around. We'll send it to you, an old one. It's new, but it's old design. If anyone can guess who that is in the V2 team in there, I won't move the camera, but if anyone can guess who doesn't know us, we'll send something your way. No prizes for, no hints or anything, but you can't know us because otherwise you know who it is. Brendan Canty has joined the feed. BC from Drapac.
BC.
Reportedly going World Tour next year with Cannondale Drapac.
No, I think it's the deal's done.
I'm not sure. I don't know. Ashley Ray, hey BC, I think that's good. Kirsty, nice uniform, guys. KB, we've already been on that, okay, and it's okay that you're late. All right, Ryan Impey, MCL exclusive cycling Maven falls off the bike again. Kirsty Baxter, Nathan Wood, no, good guess. So he did race for our Bay Crits team. Pat Lane and Jess Lane, you both don't count because you both know who it is in the photo. But maybe we'll give it to Jess anyway, because it is Nathan Haas, who's currently riding the Vuelta, doing very, very well, and hopefully back racing Bay Crits in January. All right, so in the tour, you get to what was your favourite stage?
Oh, look, it was a bit of a blur. What was that one I went up at the top of the... Remember that one?
Do you like mountain, or do you like
yeah,
fast?
no, it was definitely the mountains.
Okay.
It was definitely the mountains. Like going up through the crowds was epic.
Yeah.
And that was when he did that on 2 stages, I think. And that's something that I spoke with Rob about. If we went and did it again, we would definitely do more of that. Because the thing is, Rob and I were trying to go to the start of every stage so that we could interview riders, film bikes for SBS and stuff. Yeah. And then we were racing to the finish to try and do all the stuff that Rob had to do for his magazine and whatnot. What I really wanted to do was sort of hit the mountains, get amongst the people, because if you're doing a vlog, you need to be hanging off Amons with a beer in your hand and a camera.
It's not meant to be a TV show.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I think if I was to do it again, I'd definitely be up the top of every mountain, just hanging off randoms, you know, running around in my undies, having a good time.
Do you reckon your subscriber list would go up if they saw that, or down?
I think if they saw me in my undies, it would definitely go down.
Bit of a spray tan.
Yeah. But I think that's what people want to see, and I think at the end of the day, people want to see the town and they want to see what the experience is like. pretty much everyone watching this would want to go and be a part of that and have a few beers on the mountain, in whatever level of excitement you want to do, whether it's running in your undies or just chilling out in the grass.
Yeah.
But I think it's that element of sort of being there and amongst it, which is key to what I do in my blog. And so if I do it again, which I will, that's what I'll do.
Harry Bennett, thanks for joining on, mate. Haven't seen you for a while. Hope all's well. All right, if we go ahead into where you want to take this, you say you've got a full-time job. This is your passion.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Absolutely.
You've gone so far to move in with us cool cats at V2, just have your own sort of space.
Yeah.
Just to get out of the house. If you.
Yeah. So I've got a desk over here now. The boys have lined me up a desk.
And that realistically, that's a pretty big move.
Yeah.
That's a commitment
Yep.
to sort of a space where freedom flows.
Work. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's really the first step. What?
Hence the uniform.
That's it. That's the V2 uniform. I suppose. What do you need? And without this sounding, because it's not a plug by any means, but what do you need? How do you foresee it going forward? We see those big YouTubers like Jesse and things like that, and another one who monetizes it really well is like Rowan. Is it Rowan Atwood?
Yeah. Roman
Atwood, and Ben Brown is another one who's very good at monetizing his funding.
Yeah.
Do you think that, like I often say that Australia is a bit behind in this sort of tech sort of scene?
Yeah.
How do you sort of see, right, I'm quitting my job, I'm going to focus on this now, but I need to earn some money. Are you going after anyone, or are you going to try and get, if you get payments, stuff that's beneficial to your audience and things like that?
It's a really good question.
That was the longest question in the world.
Yeah, it was a good one. I was hoping you'd just cut it off. I was going to cut it off. It's an interesting one because there's that balance, right? Like I feel like, for example, there's many ways you could do it. You could do fan funding. Like I could do a Kickstarter. So at the end of the day, I'll make a blog. Hannah and I have actually talked about quitting our job and going overseas and blogging together on a holiday.
This is full of exclusives, this broadcast.
This is exclusive. I haven't ever said this on my blog, but we have talked about it.
Yep. And
how do you fund that? Like we could do fan funding, but then I don't want to simply ask people for money just for charity, so if I did that, I'd want to sell them shirts or kits or something like that. But then there's the other side. Do you go to a brand and say, okay, we'll sponsor 10 vlogs for this much money, you guys sponsor each vlog and we'll just have a little advertorial within, and so that's another way. But then I want to keep it authentic and real, and I don't want to be obliged to sort of to plug brands within the blog. So I don't know. To be honest with you, I've got no idea. And for people that think that YouTube and Google AdWords pay the bills, I mean, mate, you've got to have 2 million. Like, it's hard for me because I sell medical devices by day, and so I earn relatively good money. So for me to go cut that off and then go to YouTube
and get nothing,
it's quite hard. If you were straight out of university building a YouTube channel, then it's a little bit easier because you're not used to earning this money. But so it's a tough one. I don't really know how to do it, and I'm talking to people at the moment. But I'm certainly not going to make a lot of money out of Google AdWords, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I think I made $1,000. I hit $1,000 last month.
Okay.
And that was for, obviously all the little ads at the bottom of the screen. It's monetized, people watch it, and Google AdWords pay me. So I think it was $1,000 last month, and it was like $800 a month before that. So it's money, but it's not a lot of money.
Yeah. All right. Your name is Cycling Maven. Are you going to start recording and vlogging again once crit season comes back around? Are you going to start doing more cycling vlogs as well?
Yeah. I mean, it's Cycling Maven, and the Maven is an expert in a particular field who seeks to pass on knowledge to others. I don't see myself as the expert, like, it's called Cycling Maven, but I'm far from being an expert. Like, I prefer to go to people like Raoul and people who know what they're talking about, and that's sort of where the name comes from. But, look, mate, I'll be doing heaps of, I'm getting back into cycling now. I think cycling, it comes in ebbs and flows in terms of racing. Your motivation comes and goes. Like, you know yourself, you're not racing at the moment, right? So,
Got a motivation for 3 years.
So, I love racing, and stuff, but right now I'm sort of not right there. I'm trying to get back into it, but I can imagine that when the crits come around, game on. I want GoPro footage, I want to get amongst it. So.
Okay, if you could vlog anything in the world, any sporting event or anything, what would it be? Like an all-access pass. So I'd do courtside at the NBA. In games.
Yeah, I mean that'd be really intimidating, I reckon.
Yeah.
I don't know, soccer World Cup or something like that.
Okay.
I reckon that'd be pretty sick.
Yep.
Obviously the Tour de France, like I'd really love the Tour de France, anything cycling, the Giro. But I mean, for me, it's about being in the country and enjoying the towns and the culture and the people as well. So I reckon the Giro would be pretty amazing.
Okay.
Or the Vuelta.
Okay. What's missing from your entourage of your cameras? What do you want?
That's a tough one. I mean, I'd love to take the productions next level and have like a red, one of those awesome 4K red cameras. But I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty happy with what I've got.
Yeah.
Maybe a Canon 80D. The autofocus on that's amazing. I think I spoke about that in a tutorial video I did yesterday or the day before. The Canon 80D. I mean, you can literally, I could swing it around to you and I could swing it around everyone in the room and instantaneously it focuses on people,
You should really try Sony.
Yeah, I don't know about the Sonys, man. I don't know.
All right. So what's the question you get asked most about your fans? Like if you had to change in the direction, do you get asked like, we want to see more drone footage or, more, someone did comment more Ryan.
Yeah,
Someone
Ryan.
did comment more Ryan somewhere.
Ryan's way funnier than me, man. If he started a vlog, he'd be huge.
Yeah, Brett said more updates from Ryan.
Yeah.
Ryan's actually gone missing in the UK. I think.
He's in the UK. He's gone AWOL.
Yeah.
But he's going to do Red Hook Crit, so we should get him.
Ryan's going to do Red Hook Crit?
Yeah, so the Curve boys have sponsored him to do Red Hook Crit.
Okay.
So he's just got his bike. So if you follow him on, Ryan Flynn on Instagram, he's got his new bike and he's got his Curve bike and stuff. Check it out.
Okay. Favourite food?
Rice, I'd say.
Brown, white.
White rice.
Okay.
I used to eat so much rice.
Brown rice takes too long to cook.
Oh, brown rice is tears. You don't fucking cook
Tears.
tears.
Someone said James Clark tears. So
Tears, yeah, I'm with you, James. This is tears or right
No,
now?
this isn't tears. Maybe he's having tears. Favourite place to ride in the world?
Just to answer your question about what question I get asked about mostly.
Oh yeah, sorry.
It's the vegan thing. So
I did bring it up today.
So I get asked a lot about that. France, what was it like to eat vegan? It was very difficult in France to eat vegan. There was many occasions where we were rushing.
There's no vegan croissants.
Mate, I thought they were vegan. I said, oh, you blow my cover. No, look, to be honest with you, it was very difficult in France. When you're in the car and you're going from the start, trying to get to the finish, there was occasions where we were at the front of the race and we literally had to pull the car up onto the curb, run into a bakery and grab whatever they had and run out. So there was many occasions where I was eating croissants and all sorts of things. But it is what it is, man, and it's France. France is a very difficult place to be vegan.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, be well prepared if you go to France if you're a vegan.
Okay, best place that you've ridden?
I loved Indonesia. I rode
Okay.
a little bit of the tour of Indonesia several years ago, and I got spat out the arse on the second stage, on the hilly stage, and I think it was the first stage, second stage, something like that. And so I just rode it casually with the boys, with the team after that, and it was amazing. I had such a good time. Yeah, it was hilly, and it was just beautiful roads.
Most famous or most engaging person that you've interviewed? I don't want to answer it for you, but Troy Clark's was.
Troy was, thank you for saying that, because I've done a few interviews now, so to be put on the spot I'll have to think about it, but I would say Troy, my Troy Clark video was amazing because he was just so honest in his answers, and it was such a pertinent topic because really we interact with people on a daily basis, but you really don't know what's going on.
Do you want to just sum it up, just because some people might not have seen
Oh yeah, sorry. So the Troy Clark interview, Troy was, is still, even into his 40s or late 30s, was an awesome little rider, and he's had a break for many years and suffered with depression and mental health issues, and he's racing now and he's winning races, and he was in this interview that I did with him probably about 6 months ago. he was just completely transparent and honest about this issue, and it resonated with so many people. And you know, you just had to look at the comments, and there were people that sort of came out and said, I'm feeling the same way. So yeah, definitely Troy Clark, and he's one of the nicest blokes around.
Yeah. We'll post it if you visit his YouTube, so we'll link it from YouTube on the page as well, so you can see it across.
Raoul was really interesting.
Raoul, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I find him. I love anyone who's passionate about their craft. I really get into it. Like, I want to spend more time with them. And Raoul was someone I could just sit down with and for hours and just talk about anything, and it'd be interesting. You know, we could talk about that hat on the wall, and he would come up with a way of how it was made.
Yeah.
So he's an incredible guy.
If you could interview anyone, who would it be?
Oh God,
Has to be alive.
I'd love to interview Lance Armstrong.
Really?
Yeah, I'd love to sit down and just have a raw chat, because I have never.
Lance, if you want to come on MCL Live, just drop us a line, mate.
But I have never been, even though we all suspected it, and a lot more people will say they suspected than what they did. I'll never forget sitting down on my couch and listening to him come out and say, "Yeah, I did it." I was devastated, absolutely devastated. So I'd love to have a chat with him about that, a raw open chat.
Okay, mate. Cycling Maven. You can find him on preferably YouTube. I presume that's where you want it.
That's probably. I mean, we were just talking about this before. I'm useless with other social media. Like,
He is.
I find it really hard to post Instagram pictures for some reason.
Your Instagram stories are good though.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Yes, you do it.
Well, you rang me up. The day Instagram stories came out, was released, he rang me up and said, "Get on it."
Yeah, because you refuse to get on Snapchat. It broke my heart.
So I posted like 5 in a row, and I don't think I've ever posted one since. But yeah, I would try and get better with that.
Mate, thanks so much for your time.
Yeah, thanks for
having
having
your time.
It's what a privilege to be here.
It is. Guys, we're back next week. We're actually going to be broadcasting from the tour of Gippsland. If you want to keep up to date with all that, the channel is Summer of Cycling on Facebook, or Summer of Cycle, which is on Instagram and Twitter. We'll be broadcasting all the in-race updates. We'll probably be doing Q&As every day with the riders as well. So make sure you tune in. And then next week, there's a host of MCL members down there, so we might try and tee up Australia's most successful team, Avanti Isaway. They've got Joe Cooper and Paddy Lane. So guys, we'll see you next week. Thanks heaps. Make sure you comment below. Mark will follow it up and comment at some point before Sunday night. So thanks very much, guys, and we'll catch you soon.